Welcome back to another YouTube video. So today's video is all about creating a rig for fishing with paste. So we know it's that time of year now, carp are getting active, we want to get out there and fish using paste. But first of all, we've got to set up the rig. So that's what this video is about. So let's just go through a couple of quick key points or key items. So the float, again, important part, have a paste float. This is a Preston's Innovation. It's a number one. I tend to fish this anything between 2 foot and 4 foot. I can fish it deeper. It's strong enough. It's robust enough. But what I like about this particular float is that it's got a long bristle, which is really important when fishing paste. But it's got the eye at the end of the bristle, so I can feed my line through that. Now, there are some floats out there I've seen without the eye, and some people will use a pole silicone at the end. Some people don't bother at all. They'll just thread their line through the first eye, which at the top of the base of the float. But I like to be able to have my line also coming out at the end. It just means I just have more contact with that float. So Preston's Innovation, that's what I use. There's many out there. You can use what you wish. Obviously, we need the silicone, pole float silicone as well. This is a 0.5 mil diameter silicone. It just suits that particular float. Probably one of the main things is the line. I just happen to use, again, a Preston's a Reflow power line. You could use whatever brand make you wish. But what you need to do is be robust. So this is 0.19 mil diameter line. I have this straight through to the hook. I don't have any other lower hook length line. Some people do. Some people will use out of the packet hook lengths or tie their own, but I don't. I just have it straight through, tie my hook by hand to the main line. So 0.19 mil diameter. Hooks, again, you just need a strong hook. You'll all have your own preferences. I happen to use the Preston's XSH spade end hook. Size 10. I don't go anything lower than that, but I always just use a size 10. You could get away with a size 12, but a size 10 is good. It's going to be buried in the paste. The fish aren't going to see it. It's absolutely perfect. It's never let me down yet. Obviously, I've got my scissors and I've got my pole winder, but your main four items is your float, your silicone, obviously, your main line, and then your hooks. That's it. So let's get to it. So we're going to attach the float to the main line. So first of all, I need to put 3 pieces of silicone onto the main line. There we go. A little bit difficult. Light conditions aren't great in the room I'm in, but everybody knows how to put silicone on the line. Some people do struggle. Again, if you do, get a magnifying glass. You can buy them offline on stands, but this is the diameter of these pole silicones is just big enough for me. So there we go. So I've got 3 on the line. I'm now going to thread the main line through the first eye on the float, which is at the bottom of the bristle, and then that second one. Like I say, this particular float from Preston's has a second eye at the top of the bristle. There we go. Kept missing then, but there we go. So that's on there. Now we just need to put the silicone on the main stem of the float. There's the first one on. Just going to push that to the top of the stem. And we're going to put the second one on. That will go in the middle of the stem. They're quite tight. It's a tight fit, but that's what you want. You don't want the float moving when you hook into any good carp. And there we go. So we've got 3 pieces of silicone. Don't know why I went to say 4. I've never had 4. And just make sure the line is nice and straight down the stem of the float. There we go, perfect. Now I'm just going to create the loop that will attach to the end of my Dacron. There will be a link in the description for those that have not seen one of my previous videos. Just moisten that, which I show you how I connect my main line to my Dacron. I just happen to use a particular way that helps me get my main line on and off the Dacron. So just created my first loop. For those that have already seen that video, you know what I mean. Create the first loop, and now I'm just going to create the main loop that eventually will attach onto the Dacron. There we go, just moisten that. Just give that a little pull. There we go. There. So just want to make sure that first loop is nice and tight, which it is. There we go. And now I just need to snip the excess line off there. And the first loop, I just need to snip a bit of line off there. There we go. So I've now got my loop that it will go onto the Dacron. Got my float. And then I just need to give myself enough line. I always give myself, certainly for a paste rig, I will give myself 5 foot. Now, it's very rare I will fish that deep, but I always like to have more line than I actually need when I'm fishing paste. Well, when I set any rig up, I always have more line than I need, regardless. Just put that over there. Just put those over there. Right, now we need to attach the hook to the main line. So if you've never done this before, I will probably create another video one day on how to hand tie a hook to your main line or to line in general. But very quickly, this video isn't about that. I just want to show you very quickly as I'm doing it. So make sure you leave yourself about 6-7 inches of excess line. Bring the 2 pieces of line together to form a little loop. Get your hook, place the hook and the loop together. Not sure if you can see that on the video. And now I'm just going to hold that in between my fingers, the hook and the line, and then I'm going to twist round the excess line around the hook at least 12, if not 15 times. So about 6 now, so wasn't counting. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Just need to tighten the line up. You've got to keep it, like I say, a tight line when you do this. 12, 13, 14. There we go. I'm going to do 15. It doesn't matter how many you do. It's just you need to get plenty of turns around the hook. But like I say, at least 12 times. Then the excess line, just pass that through that loop. There we go. And then you just pull the 2 pieces of line nice and tight. There we go. And then make sure that your main line is at the front of the spade and not at the back. If it's at the back and you hook into a fish, the hook will just come straight off. So that's nice and tight. Pull that tight. There we go. And then just trim the excess line at the end of the hook. Now, you'd normally leave, if you did this with smaller hooks for this style of fish, other styles of fishing, you'd probably leave a couple of mil when you trim the line. But I'm going to leave about 2 centimeters. So I've now got, I don't know if that comes out on the camera, but I've got 2 centimeters of line from the hook. Now, the reason for that is when you're fishing paste, having that little bit of extra line just allows the paste something else to cling onto as well as the hook. It just means that the paste will likely stay on a little bit longer on the end of the hook. And there you have it. So we've attached the main line directly to a hook. Then as we go up, got our paste float on, and then we've got our loop which will connect to the Dacron or to your plastic connector. Now, if you notice, I haven't put any shot on this. I'm not going to. I don't use shot on my paste floats or on paste rigs. Some people do. They like to have a couple of droppers, enough just to quickly sort of cock the float as it hits the water, goes in the water. I don't. I will fish my paste dead depth, and the paste is basically the anchor point. That is the weight, and I will then be able to see any bites when the fish take that paste. So I never use any shot on my paste rigs. Like I say, some people do. I will put a back shot on there as well as normal, but I'll do that on the bank. And there you have it. That's how simple it is. 0.19 mil diameter main line, paste float, and then tie your hook directly to the main line. That's simple. So there you have it, guys. So if you've enjoyed this video, if you've learned something, please do leave a comment in the description of the video. As usual, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps. Don't forget to hit the notification button so you get reminded next time I upload a video. So hopefully on the next video, I'll be using this rig, catching some carp. Until next time, tight lines.